Sorry, guys, I don't play the Through the Breach list of Amulet that particularly often, so... Alright, you're dead. How's that? Hello, and welcome, everybody. We are back here for round 3 with a list that you see on screen. I do want to immediately apologize for not posting this video yesterday. I am recording this on Thursday, and usually I would post match 3 on Wednesday, but I had some school stuff come up, so unfortunately the video had to be delayed. But on the bright side, at least you'll get 2 matches posted today, so look out for the other one to come out soon after this one. And yeah, I don't have much else to say. If you're not familiar with the list, then check out match 1 or the links in the description below, and I will see you guys in the games. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the match. So throw some red instants at our opponent. He'll be on the play. Love it. Opponent has a companion, perhaps. Is that what this pause is about? Who can say? It's probably a Lurrus. Everything's a Lurrus these days. Occasionally it's a Yorion, but it's always a Lurrus. Boom. What did I say? It's a Lurrus. Who could have guessed this? Not us, clearly. This hand's kind of awkward, because we're going to need to hit a couple of land drops for this to work out. I guess we could also draw exactly a single land source and a Titan, and then we could breach out a Titan. But we don't have access to Amulet. We get to play a turn 2 Dryad and have 5 mana on turn 3, but again, we have to draw exactly the 5th mana source and a Titan to be able to breach it out, and even then, we may not be killing our opponent. I guess we could if we got Valakut and our Dryad was still in play, but that's if we hit exactly a land plus Titan, which I don't know. We get a redraw from Explorer, but that would require us to do that on turn 2 instead of casting the Dryad. We could Grazer out Teetering Piece and then turn 2 Explorer and see what we hit, and then maybe just play Bounce Land. I don't know, though. I feel like this hand's weak enough that we could try to find a Saga on one hand or an Amulet hand or something along those lines. And this hand is not particularly faster, but at least we have access to Amulet here, so this is probably close to a turn 3 kill. Yeah, we'll keep this. And we do have to bottom one of these. Honestly, I think it... Now, we want to keep the Grove of the Burn Willows. I think it could just be one of the bounce lands that we bottom here, so that we have access to Dryad to do the Valakut triggers thing. We have a land to play that won't make us pick up our Saga on turn 2, and then on turn 3 you can just get an Amulet. Maybe try to go off. I guess if we draw an Azusa or a Grazer, we could breach out Titan on turn 3. I mean, we're going to give it a shot. Lead on the Saga and pass, of course. Next turn is going to be Grove of the Burn Willows, and our opponent will think we're playing Naya Land. They're just going to turn one Thoughtseize us, take our Titan, and leave us with a dead Through the Breach. It won't be the best. Certainly will not. We could just draw an Amulet of Vigor here, and then search for another one. Oh, they didn't cast a discard spell yet. That doesn't mean they don't have it, but they haven't done it yet. Mishra's Bauble, doing what it do. There are already 3 cards in for a Delirium. Oh, a second Bauble. Okay. Yeah, Bauble plus Channeler is very good. I initially evaluated Channeler as not being a particularly good card, because I specifically overlooked its interaction with Bauble, making it very easy to reach Delirium, not only for getting the scry off the Channeler, but because Artifact in and of itself is a very good type for the Channeler decks, because they just don't play a whole lot of artifacts, so... It's almost always a 4th type, not redundant. And we're on the nothing plan over here. Don't even get to make a token. Sad times. Alright, let's just hope they don't cast any discard spells at all. And that we top deck a Grazer or something. Or an Amulet. I guess top decking an Amulet would probably be good. They haste out a Ragavan. Interesting. They get a Growth Chamber off the top, which we did not want to find anyways. Our opponent might just be dead here, depending on what we draw. Something good? Not really doing it. That's alright. We could just get Relic here. And not set up Amulet. We can shock and Stomping Ground, play Dryad, Bounce Land, but then we can't cast Through the Breach this upcoming turn. We could just try to hope again to fade discard spells. I think getting an Amulet here is just going to be the best choice. So, yeah, we'll play out a Stomping Ground here. We'll say no. We'll untap it. And our opponent seems to be on straight black-red. It's very possible they're playing Death Shadow, so I actively want them to gain life here, as I don't think that the extra 1 point of life is going to realistically matter in the grand scheme of things. But if they have Shadow in particular, that could be very impactful. So I'm just going to try to play around that by intentionally letting our opponent gain a life. I highly doubt that comes back to bite us. And we'll pick up, I guess, the Grove, since we could play Garenbrig, perhaps. Next turn, we don't even have to breach to get Titan into play. We just play bounce land and a regular land, and that's Titan mana, so... We even get to play around a removal spell if they try to hold it up and try to get us with a bounce land trigger on the stack by killing Dryad. We just play Grove and then Gruul Turf, and then cast Titan immediately, even if they kill a Dryad, which they will still have to do because of Valcut anyways. See if they have Kolaghan's Command, perhaps? Fetch Shocking is interesting. Could be an indication that they are, in fact, on Death Shadow, or it could be that they had something they really wanted to play this turn and they needed to fix for white. Kaya's Guile. Alright, well, Dryad is down. We still get to breach out a Titan, though. We might actually have the breach Titan kill here, if our opponent is not careful. They're making a 1/1. They've got some beefy channelers, but I think we just have lethal here. Even through the 1/1. Yeah, we can just 20 them, so as long as we don't draw an important land. Not Teetering Peaks, not Boros Garrison, Vesuva, or Sunhome. Those are the ones we can't draw here. Don't draw those, deck. Please, anything but those. Dryad. Okay. Well, we can't cast that because we'll be going down a mana to do that, so let's just, combo kill our opponent. You know what we're going to do? We're going to breach in response to the bounce trigger because we're cool like that. Alright, so the first one needs to set up the Teetering Peaks first and foremost, which is why it's in the list. And then we'll just go ahead and get the Sunhome now. We will Peaks our Titan. And of course, we don't need to worry about hasting our Titan here because it gets haste from the breach. So we'll always deal to the Teetering Peaks. We'll pick up the Stomping Ground. We'll go to combat and attack. And we'll search for the Boros Garrison. And Vesuva copying the Teetering Peaks. Boop. Put the bounce trigger on the stack, put the amulets, and then the Peaks will stack itself. I guess it won't. Sorry, guys, I don't play the Through the Breach list of Amulet that particularly often, so... Alright, you're dead. How's that? Get got. -5. Heck yeah. I'm just glad we got to do the thing at least one time, you know? And in this matchup, I actually think Tracker could be alright. It's kind of embarrassing against our opponent's potential, like, bolts and stuff, but... It's also better against discard. I don't know, though. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll think about it. We want all the relics. We probably want all the bolts. We don't want as many Summoner's Packs. And unfortunately, in this matchup, because of discard spells, I think that Through the Breach is a huge liability, because it's just a dead card without a Titan ready to go. Even though we just won with it. We want 1 Explosives, maybe 2. Explosives is really good against our opponent having potential Alpine Moons, but admittedly, I don't think we care about that much. So... I think we could trim 1 of the trackers and only bring in 2, so that we don't end up just getting got by endless lightning bolts. That seems fine to me. And then I also like trimming on Saga to play around Blood Moons and Alpine Moons. Saga's not, like, super impactful. Although I guess in that game it set up our Amulet, which was actually very impactful. Let's see, what else? I don't like trimming anything that relates to basic lands, as our opponent could have Blood Moon. They probably do. I don't know if I want to bring in Force for that, but it's possible. If we had a Foundation Breaker, I might bring it in, but this list is not playing one. I don't know. 1 card to cut. I have no clue what it should be. Let me know what you guys would cut in the chat. In the comments below. I watch too much Twitch, apparently. Maybe it's just Gemstone Mine, as we don't want to lose our land to a random, resource battle, just having to tap it multiple times, so that seems alright to me. Alright. We have a 1-lander with the land that enters tapped, and just like a billion Relic of Prejudice in our hand. No green source. We have Map, which doesn't do much for us. I think this is a pretty obvious mulligan. I like having this many relics in our opening hand, but that few lands is a kind of a no-go in my personal opinion. We'll keep this one. I actually think we're probably supposed to bottom the relic here. I don't know. Maybe we're not going to have the time to speed out lands with Azusa like that. I kind of feel like we need to, though. It's pretty unclear to me. If this was an untapped red source that we could slam turn 1 relic and then have bolt for turn 2, I would be much happier about this hand. We might not even have the time to cast both of these things. Although I guess we're most likely turn 2 picking up... No, but we'll probably either cast bolt or relic and then pick up land. So we probably won't get to cast both of these before we just slam Azusa on 3. So I think I'm bottoming the relic here. It could be wrong. Sucks that if our opponent goes turn 1 Ragavan, they get a hidden before we can bolt it. This is why you can't rely on things like Valakut as red sources for bolt, because in particular, this is a card you want to cast early, which is why we're playing like a huge amount of untapped red sources, right? We can't count Teetering Peaks and Valakut and these bounce lands in that category, so that's why I'm trying to go overboard. Of course, here we still don't have the untapped red source, despite all the attention we're paying to it, so it's not really helping us either. We'll lead on the Valakut, obviously. Now our opponent's going to take our bolt with a discard spell, and then we're going to lose to Ragavan, even though we had the bolt from turn 1. And we even had a turn 1 red source. It'll be tragic. Oh, they hit a bolt. Well, Bobble. All right, they're doing the things. Between the two of these, we absolutely just have to bolt Ragavan. Them ramping every turn and potentially getting extra cards to play is pretty annoying. They mill over a Thoughtseize. That's interesting. I can't tell if I'm glad to not be drawing this bolt or unfortunate, or that I think it's unfortunate to not be drawing this bolt. I'm pretty happy that they just used a clue to just cast a lightning bolt. I don't think that is going to be super effective against us at this point. It's more of a resource game than a life game. Tireless Tracker. Alright, let's float a mana and play Gruul Turf, I suppose. So if we top deck a 3rd lightning bolt for this game, then we could cast it. And we will bolt the Ragavan, I think. They don't have a second land drop, so I'm not as worried about a second Ragavan just dashing in here. I mean, I'm a little worried about that, but not entirely. Maybe bolting the... Nah, it's just always got to be Ragavan there, because if they don't find another land drop, and they don't have another Ragavan, then this just stops them from developing mana, so... Here's a discard spell. That explains why they binned the first Thoughtseize, is because they already had one ready to go. Guess they should have cast it last turn instead of that bolt, huh? They were too tempted by the value, you know? Now I feel pretty good about our spot. I don't really care what they take from this hand, if I'm being completely honest. An untapped source to play Azusa would be great. That's all I'm going to say about it. This whole game, we've just been lacking on tap sources, basically. All of our lands are slow lands here. Pretty tragic. They take Titan. Well, I mean, that's a very future-oriented plan, I must say. We are not even close to casting Titan right now, so... Another discard spell. I wonder if they just take the Azusa or if they take the Tracker. If they don't take Azusa, we top deck on tap land and do a redundant, like, Titan copy or something, or just another threat, like another Tracker or something. Yeah. They leave us with Tracker, though. Dryad. Okay, well, we'll play our only land that actually makes sense and pass. Next turn, we'll probably just play Dryad and a bounce land if we have the chance. We're losing pretty quickly to this Channeler, sadly. Yep, we're mostly losing this game to our mana base, sadly. Pre-combat Thoughtseize, huh? Interesting. Wonder what they take here. They take Tracker. Powerful words. They just let us, Ooh! That bolt is... Is that better than just casting Dryad? Because I feel like getting their clock out of play is far more important than resolving a Dryad. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we're bolting this instead. They're probably just going to kill the Dryad, and we're still making land drops anyways. This killing us is the problem. Us getting one less land drop and taking 3 damage for it. I don't know about that. Or 1 more land drop for 3 damage is not a trade that I'm willing to make. They're also probably just holding up a removal spell for Dryad here, like an Unholy Heat. So this kind of plays around that, because now they have to choose between committing threats or holding up Unholy Heat. So that means they'll have to main phase the Heat in order to kill Dryad and get in with a Ground Pounder, perhaps. I'm thinking of Douthy Voidwalker, for example. Or just like a Dashed Ragavan, even. I guess a Dashed Ragavan is one thing that just main phasing this Bolt here doesn't play around, but can't play around at all. They've already used 1 Ragavan. They only have 3 left. They clearly don't have it, right? There's just no way they possibly top deck it. Of course, if we did want to play Dryad here, but wanted to play around a removal spell, we would float the mana with our lands, then play Growth Chamber and pick up the Valakut, and then play Dryad and immediately play Valakut, so that they can't, like, kill. Like, if we were just to tap 3, play Dryad, and then play Growth Chamber as our first land, they could kill the Dryad with Unholy Heat in response to the trigger, and then we wouldn't get a second land drop out of it. So, if we were to play Dryad that turn, that would have been the sequencing. Now we have Dryad plus Valakut as a potential plan. They just put Lurrus in hand. I'm okay with that. Saga. Yeah, that's a good one too. Alright, we'll play the Dryad, leaving a red floating because we're playing Through the Breach. We'll show them a Saga because we're dumb, and we'll just go ahead and pass the turn. Cancel. At least now we have a backup plan if our Dryad dies, and if we draw any land, we can start getting repeated Valakut triggers. So I thought that we were in bad shape, but that top deck Bolt was actually really good. Prismatic Ending. I thought they were just going to cast Lurrus. Okay. Okay. We'll let this go. Are we supposed to pick up the Saga? Saga can get us a Relic. Against their Lurrus, that seems like it will be very important. So I think we're supposed to leave the Saga in play, in which case I'm going to play the Simic Growth Chamber. Despite the fact that they know about Boros Garrison, or at least they should, because they cast discard spells against us, having the double blue in play to transmute Telarios is probably too important. Like, we could transmute and then play a tracker and then play a land, for example, perhaps. There's something that we could think about doing. I guess if we're doing that, we're not activating Saga. I don't know. Maybe it would have been better to play out the Garrison. I think just objectively it makes sense to get blue sources in play, but it does give them more information. Like, now they know our whole hand. Which might benefit us. They might choose to go for a risky line that involves us not top-decking Titan. And then we just top-deck Titan after getting an Amulet, and they just die. I'd be pretty cool with that. Black mana. Lurrus Shadow. Okay, that makes sense. We'll go to their instep, and we'll make a dude. We'll untap. We'll draw. Dryad. That one is really, really good. Okay, unfortunately, we're going to have to lose the land of the Saga here. Hold on. I guess before we do anything, let's think about this. So we could get Expedition Map with the Saga and float. Float with a Growth Chamber and Gruul Turf. Leave to play Dryad. There's no way for us to get 6 lands into play this turn, even if we map for something. So I think it's fine to just get to the... I think it's fine to just get the Relic of Progenitus here. So yeah, we're just going to make a dude and search for a Relic. And play land, Dryad. Pop Relic, I guess, before we play another land in case we hit something interesting like a Saga. And can't play anything else, so we'll pass. I think that we have a decent shot here. Just top-decking back-to-back Sagas after getting their clock out of play with a top-decked Bolt. That's some pretty expert-level draws. If they have a removal spell for Dryad, then we could be in a little bit of trouble, but... Prismatic Ending? I mean, if it's taking almost their entire turn's worth of mana, then I'm more okay with that. If they swing with Shadow, we probably just take the damage. Swinging with Lurrus, too. Well, we're definitely blocking Lurrus, that's for dang sure. We'll just leave the blocker here for the Shadow. This makes the Shadow a 1/1 thanks to the lifelink. That Lurrus attack seemed pretty poor, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, we'll untap. Titan. Dry. Oh! Dude, we're just getting all the best possible top decks here. Alright. Well, opponent, you're just dead. We only get 2 land drops, so we're just gonna kill their 2 Shadows here. We'll kill the untapped one first for value. Always yes, always yield. And we'll pick up the Garrison, and we'll do it all again. Yeah, attacking with that Lurrus seemed really bad. And I'm not playing around them having another Shadow or a main deck Lurrus or something, so I'm just going to activate and swing for 2 and just clock our opponent out of this game. Get gone. We just drew everything we could have needed for this game. Pretty broken. We can map for a Vesuva here and copy Valakut. And probably just have lethal. Now they have Prismatic Ending. Little too late on that one. Kai's Guile. Interesting. They don't have... Oh, they do have Revolt for Fatal Push. So they might be planning on pushing a Dryad anyways. I don't know if there's anything that we need to consider to play around here. So if we sack Dryad, make a token, get a artifact, that'll be 2 attackers. No, 1 attacker for like 4 damage. Nah. I'm just going to sack the Construct. I think that the Dryad has more value here. Okay, they can draw. It's a huge shame that we have to lose the land in the Saga. That's kind of hurt us twice here, because instead we'll have to play Vesuva copying Valakut after mapping for it, and then play a land and only get 2 Valakut triggers. But, oh well. So we can swing in for 4 here, put our opponent to 10. We could also just play it really safe and just get a Relic of Progenitus instead of a map. Just in case our opponent top decks an answer to Dryad and we need to find things to do. Because, you know, a couple 2/2 constructs may not be enough to go the distance, depending on what they top deck. In fact, we might even choose not to attack and put them down to Death Shadow casting range. Force them to have a Shadow and, like, a Shock land, or a Shadow and Effect land, or something like that, so they could play it. I don't know, maybe that's getting a little too into it. I'm actually pretty sure we just want to get the Relic here. And pop it immediately, probably. Oh, well, there's a Relic. Maybe not. Maybe we don't need to get a Relic here. Yeah, we'll activate. And we'll go ahead and search. Do we get a Relic anyways? Probably not. Excuse me. I think we just get map. We could even just map for Tolaria West and just get 1 Valakut trigger, and then we can pick up the Tolaria West and transmute if they kill our Dryad. Which I think is just better than anything else. Let's play Relic. We'll map for Tolaria West, I do believe. And play it. We'll play Garrison and shoot them with a Valakut trigger. Right. I think, again, we just pick up the Garrison. I don't see a reason why not to. We'll go ahead and pop Relic now in case we draw a Grazer for an extra point of damage. Alright. An extra Valakut trigger, I mean. And yeah, I'm not playing around anything. Just take all the damage. We have everything we need at this point, including a Titan ready and rolled up, so... Yeah. Shadow or not, I think that we'll be fine here. We can even just play land, and immediately be able to transmute Tolaria West and cast Titan, so... Excuse me. I guess they would be dead if they don't kill our Dryad anyways, so maybe it's no concern, but... Kai's Guile. Prismatic Ending. Hey, we played around them having an answer for the Dryad. That's why we got the Tolaria West instead of a second Valakut. The second Valakut would have been useless. I think here we're just playing the Windswept Heath. Oh, they conceded. Okay, what we would have been drawing is a Titan. Well, clearly, they obviously should have conceded with that in mind. Well, that was actually a super exciting game. We got to do the breach combo thing in game 1, and then game 2, we just grinded them out with the good old-fashioned relic plan. Relics and lightning bolts. Lightning bolt did a lot of work in that matchup, which was something that I was hoping for, but it's nice to see it actually work out in practice. Yeah, anyways. Oh, also, we top-decked very well, so that has to be addressed. But anyways, I enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys did too, and I will see you guys for match 4. This is Redface Menace, signing off.